Lori, when we finished our last podcast, you mentioned something about empathy blind spots. I think
Yes.
maybe you're going to tell me I have a couple blind spots. This is what I'm fearful.
I'm going to tell you that I have many blind
Oh, I
spots
can't
too.
believe you have blind spots in empathy.
Oh, 100%.
Serious.
We all do. Everybody has blind spots. We all have blind spots. That I think the goal is two things. Number one, to be able to recognize a blind spot.
Okay.
And number two, if somebody lovingly points out or says, hey, maybe that's one, but being able to accept, maybe I need to look at that, because we all get really, really defensive. That's what we're going to talk about today. That's just one of the ways. If we practice, remember I talked about it's being empathetic is not, you don't have to be born with
Right.
it.
You can learn
It's
it,
a
right?
skill. You can learn it. Practicing finding out your blind spots, examining your blind spots. That's what the E is going to stand
Okay. So we're
for.
going through the whole letters of.
Yeah, we're going to go through these. And this came from, I did not come up with this. This came from the book that I was talking about. Empathy is Not a Weakness. And it is by Lauren Sanders.
Lauren Sanders. Okay.
Yes, it's a quick read. It's really good. She was in the corporate world and she was not an empathetic boss. She was a do as I say, not as I do type person. She did not understand why her team did not rally behind her and nothing was ever her fault, that type of person. When she had her meeting with her boss was basically said, maybe you're the problem. And she was like, what, me? Anyway, that kind of started her journey. And I'm really paraphrasing the whole thing. It was really very well written. We all have that moment in our life where we sit there and go, wait, what do you mean I'm the problem?
Examining yourself. Yeah. You talk about that all the time.
Yourself. And she realized that she was this hardcore, very driven, nothing wrong with being very driven, hard work ethic, but she had no time for, hey, are you doing okay? She just felt that their problems are not my business and moved on.
Right. I get it. I get it.
You do get it.
I do get it.
So
trying to recognize when is your problem and when it's not your problem.
Yes. Yeah. And the reality is when they are your employees, when there is a significant thing going on in their life, it is your problem because it affects your business. If it's affecting productivity or their mental health or whatever, it does affect you. So you do have to weigh that. So,
okay. All right. So we're starting with E.
E, examining your blind spots. So this is what she says about this. And I'm quoting some things here, and then I'm going to talk about some of the research. So first impressions are not always right. They're a result, and we've talked about this on the podcast, of assumptions based on our narrow view of a situation.
Absolutely.
Right? That's called the bias. We have blind spots, we have biases, our own prejudices and practices and how they impact others. Blind spots are problematic because they block our ability to be objective. So, for example, if I see that my employee comes in and they're kind of slumped over, I can tell they're in a mood. See, you're already rolling your eyes. See, this is my point for you because this isn't your blind spot. You know you do this. You already are like, crap. I am not in
the mood to deal with this. Yeah.
That's true. Whereas I would be more like, oh no, I wonder what happened. You're more like, because you already know. And I do believe, in your defense, I do believe this is a blind spot of yours. But I will say I'm not completely defending you, but in your defense, because you have been a business owner your whole life, practically, whether it was a flower shop or our company, like you've always had to manage people
Mhm.
in a professional level. You've been responsible for them
Right.
monetarily.
Mhm. 100%.
You've had a literal roof over their heads. That's a different type of care than where my my career life has been. So I can go at it more as a, oh, I wonder what's going on there.
That's why I say everybody needs a Lori.
Right. But
Anyway,
I'm
but
so,
that's not I'm making
so I can appreciate perspective. We're going back to that word perspective, which is on here. Why a business owner, not just you, might see that coming in and go, shit, I don't have time for this today.
exactly. Yep.
Honestly. However, you have to make sure they're feeling okay.
Yeah. No, you have to do a check-in. You're right. I get
Yeah.
it.
So we got to know how they're feeling because we got to make sure they're going to be able to be productive. One of the things that I wrote down is the Dunning-Kruger effect. And I know we've talked about this before. It's a cognitive bias where people with limited knowledge, they greatly overestimate their own skills. These are blind spots. So they lack self awareness, they lack expertise, they need it, they don't recognize their own mistakes, but they feel falsely confident.
Mm.
Okay. So blind spots, another, I was thinking this, I don't know why this comes to my mind, and I put it down. When I was in college, it was sorority recruitment week one year. It was like the summer before my junior year of
Is that
college.
called rush? Thank you.
Rush, or it's called recruitment now. They changed the
Okay.
name. I don't know. We always called it
Okay.
Rush, but we had skits every day, singing, blah, all of the things. My dream world, loving every day of it. Anyway, it
I
would have
would have
been their
been,
nightmare.
oh man, nightmare.
It was my daughter's nightmare. She went through it and was like, "Oh, this is the worst. How did you love it?" And I was like, "How did you not?"
Nope. Yes.
Anyway, one of the times, so one of the main girls in one of the days, because I was like, of course, on the committee of planning it all, doing
Of
it
course.
all, got sick. One of the solos. And we're like, oh no, we need, and another girl was like, hey, I can do it. I can step in. I know the words. I blah, blah, blah. And we're like, great. She had the look. Had the personality. Based on how she looked, how she acted, we were all like, you're in. We didn't really get a good tryout of the voice. We just were like, perfect. I really hope she doesn't listen to this podcast. I don't think she does. I don't know whatever happened to her, but I'm going to be very vague. Anyway, so the next morning, she gets out there. Our first group comes in. She comes out and starts singing. Oh my gosh, she's completely tone deaf.
Oh no.
And we're listening. We're like, what? Wait, what? What is happening? She was completely off key. And she's just twirling and swirling. She's got the moves. She's doing great, smiling, adorable. The outfit fit perfect, but clearly miscalculated her own
Oh
voice.
wow.
She thought she was like,
Wow.
and I'm like, she can't keep going. We got to pull her. Anyway, she had no self-awareness.
Mhm.
She thought she was
Mhm.
great. And that's my example of the
Mhm.
Dunning-Kruger. That's a blind spot. Huge blind spot on her part and ours.
I wanna know
Because
how you got her off stage. I wanna know how you got her.
here's
You
the
got a
thing. So
hook?
we have 7 different parties coming through. So she had to finish that one. And afterwards, we're like, sister, no.
Okay.
And somebody had recorded part of it and played it back.
Okay.
And we're like, do you hear somebody who is more like you than
Yeah.
me?
Mhm.
And we're like, do you hear yourself?
Yeah. The one with the
And they,
least amount of empathy?
yes, yes. And I'm over there mortified going, "This is
Oh my gosh.
horrible."
Okay. All
Anyway,
right. Thank you. I
anyway,
wanted to know the rest of the story because I was
yeah,
really worried.
that's the rest of
Yeah.
the story.
Okay.
I think about that was 30 years ago, and I think about it
Oh
all the
my
time. It's
gosh.
like, that's blind spot. That is Dunning-Kruger, where she thought she was better than she
Mhm.
was. That is lack of self-awareness and all. We just put her in based on what we already knew going, she fits the
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
She's everything.
You just
But,
didn't.
oh, wait, we forgot to check the voice.
The most important thing. Hello.
The most important thing, it didn't do it. So anyway, M is managing mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
This one I think can be hard for you.
This one is hard for me because when I read, you have to be present in the moment. The most sympathetic I have, no, the most empathetic I have been I've been tested a lot lately, so I shouldn't say the most, but a perfect example of me being empathetic is when I was getting my hair cut because I couldn't move. I had to be in the moment.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
there, and the
that's
poor
rough.
girl was going through a divorce. She had all this stuff going, and and I truly am. I'm crying for her because I
Yeah,
am present in the moment.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
it's hard to be present in a moment when you
it
have
is.
so much going on.
In my class at Symposium, I did a little role play for this, and I said, I'm going to do two scenarios here. The first one, I walked over to a girl sitting in the audience, and I had a seat in front of her that was empty, but I stood in front of her and I said, I want you to pretend you're my employee and you're kind of down about something. And I was standing in front of her with my phone,
I,
just holding
I,
yeah, yeah. So I did that scenario. And then she started sharing what was wrong, blah, blah, blah. But then the next one, I sat and I held her hand. And this is managing mindfulness. It's the difference between your phone, having that, your computer, or just completely interrupting or going, hey, are you okay? Let me know if you need anything, and just
yeah,
wandering.
okay. It's like giving that time and
Yeah, yeah, or just completely cutting somebody off when you know they're hurting, but you're like, I don't have time for that. And we've all done it. We've all done
yeah,
it.
oh, absolutely. And it's that I'm going to go back to the first episode we talked about on empathy. It was that professional empathy, right? It's I don't know, Lori. That's a blind spot, I for sure.
It is. And here would be my advice, because it's either authentic or not. If you can't muster it up, truthfully, if you can't, you need to, you could say, find yourself a Lori. You need to have someone on your
Yeah.
team that is your person, that is known to be that person
Mhm.
for you.
Yeah.
You have to know that about yourself, and your team needs to know that about yourself, that knows you rely on Lori for that, or you rely on Jane for that. Jane's that
Mhm.
person. You love everyone and you take care of everyone and you are there, but that's her job.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you just cannot do it,
Yeah, and I'm
but
not talking me
that's
because I can
extreme.
do that, but I'm just saying
You're not
almost
extreme like
this
that.
lady who wrote the book who's trying to learn all this, right? That's the
Yeah,
way she was. Just I'm not even going
yeah,
to I'm gonna put on blinders. I'm gonna act like I didn't see it.
yeah, 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 exactly. Because we always have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You always have a choice. Okay, P, practicing somebody else's perspective. I think this is one of the most important things. And the word perspective has been in my brain since Symposium.
Mhm.
It keeps coming up into my head, and I'm not quite sure what. I'll wake up at night and that word is still in my brain. I was like, all right, okay, what am I supposed to do? What is it I'm supposed to be learning here? Whose perspective? What perspective? Everyone's perspective? My
Mhm.
perspective? Whose perspective? But we have to go into every conversation, number one, without a lot of times, and I am guilty of this. I'm like, ugh, this is going to be a crappy conversation. I do that. You do that when, even when we know we see things on our calendar, and I'm like, I'm not looking forward to
Yeah.
this.
No, true. That's true.
We do that.
And that's when we're doing
Sometimes,
hard things.
but we have to
Ugh.
not go in with negative
Yeah.
intent. We have no
Yeah.
idea
That's right.
why that person's scheduled on our calendar.
Yeah. No, you're right.
You know,
The perspective thing, Lori, I think is because we've come off symposium and we've heard so many different perspectives. I think that has so much to do with it. And where people are coming to you and coming to me, and I love that
yeah,
you said we don't have to agree with them, but we're trying to understand their perspective. Some very high, some very low, some in between, and try to just
yeah,
be empathetic about their perspective.
yeah,
And I'll have to say I've done a little growth in that area.
yeah. Same. And I didn't know that was an area I needed to. I was surprised that word keeps popping
Yeah.
up in my head. And I think for a flower shop, you were sharing with me today about a conversation you had with one of our members. And I'm like, perspective
Hmm.
for him would be really good for her to deal with in her flower shop, understand her employees a little bit better. Each employee is coming in to the shop every day from a different perspective.
100%, Lori. You think of that. Each of the lifestyles, each of the,
So everybody's
yep.
different. Everyone's different. The example I used in this that was so funny is how you changed your perspective on chicken
Oh,
wire.
yeah.
Yeah, you thought we're very no, no, no to
Yep.
chicken wire. And then Hitomi,
Yeah, then after working with Hitomi and listening to her perspective on that, and I don't want to say justifying, but the reason that it makes sense, and for design perspective that you can take it out and water it and all of that, it just was like, you know what? Yeah, I got to
yeah,
be open to that. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. And so I love that. And we got some giggles in the
I'll bet you
class
did.
because
Yeah.
not because I think everybody there could identify with something in this industry that they're like, yeah, I used to
Yeah.
not feel that way about foam or feel that way about what this or that, or and now I'm more open. It's just somebody uh, opening your mind to something where you're like, oh, maybe it's not as bad as I
Hmm.
thought it was. Now that I see their perspective, they explain. Sometimes it just takes someone to explain it a little
I
better.
agree. To not just tell you, but
Right.
explain the reasoning behind
Explain
something.
the reasoning
Yeah,
behind it.
I agree.
Yes, exactly. And then A is activating self awareness. We've talked about that. If, as leaders, if we expect positive outcomes when we mobilize a team, our success relies on our ability to be empathetic. If we are not empathetic and just constantly hammering, we expect this and this, do this. Yeah, they're going to probably do it, but they're also going to probably leave at some point. Those are the shops that have the revolving door of attrition.
That's the ones that the employees get it done, but they do no more than what is expected of them. They don't go above and beyond. But I do think that an empathetic leader really produces much better results.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's interesting in her book, she says a couple things. People that aren't self aware are usually the people that believe empathy is a weakness. They are the ones that view it. Like I said, people that lack self awareness are probably the ones that looked through the symposium brochure and saw this class and were like, why would I go to
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And just skipped by it.
Yeah.
That's okay. It isn't for everybody. The other thing about it is if you don't know if you're self aware or not, you probably aren't. So
Interesting.
sit with that a
Sit with
minute.
that one. Yeah.
Okay, the next one I'm curious about for you. This is an indication of our character, the ability to say something sensitive to someone in an impactful and direct way while making sure that person maintains their dignity. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because I have seen a, not you personally, but I have seen a lot of people in this industry, high, very influential people, designers, instructors, that if I was going to be taught under them, which I'm not in that design world, but I've seen it and I've heard it, I would probably get my feelings hurt because of the delivery. And I honestly, from my outside view, I don't think the awareness is there. I don't think they mean
Mhm.
it that way. I think it's, but I was curious. And it's not even because this says if you snarky comments and sarcasm, it's not that, it's more condescending
Right.
tone. And I'm wondering, have you encountered that moving into this design world, or no,
There are
or
certain instructors that I can tell you for sure that people come out of those classes crying because
yeah,
of the delivery of what they did wrong, because it's so sensitive for a new designer
yeah,
learning line or even texture or depth to be able to let them try to see it. And I've been in classes that has happened, but I've also been in classes with, I'd say the best, Bill McKinley, who so
yes,
empathetic and he is a true teacher. And it's, I want you to try to see this. It's not like telling you what you did wrong. And I think that's the tactfulness is the
yeah,
way, the delivery on the improvements you need to make in a design. So
yeah,
yeah, I think that's so important.
yeah. No, I agree. And you're spot on about Bill McKinley. Just in my short, I'd met him a couple of times before, but not really had conversations with him until this last time. And every time I'd pass him in the hallway, he would stop me. How was your class? You have one more to go. He remembered and he'd give me a little bit of encouragement and a little bit of advice. And I'm like, you were a
Mhm.
teacher. You just can
Yeah.
tell. It's just in him. And it just made me, every time I walk by, it made me feel good.
But tactfulness is something that instructors have or they don't.
You either have it or you
Yeah,
don't. And it's amazing how a student, even though that's how I felt walking away, I'm like excited,
I love that.
just like a little more pep in my step. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, what a
Yeah.
gift. While he's
You
working,
do
he's
the same
literally
thing, Lori. You are that person too.
right, but I rarely have it given to
True.
me.
Yeah. That's,
So it was like I noticed,
yeah.
and it wasn't long. It was 45-second interactions,
Mhm.
right? It doesn't take much, but it was anyway. H is honest communication
And
and
listening.
listen.
Mhm.
If people are worried about being singled out for asking questions, making mistakes, they end up in a constant state of that fight or flight,
Yeah.
which we know that feeling. They will not bring their best selves to work if this happens. Good listening and honest communication are foundational components of psychological safety, and there is no empathy in leadership without them. The truth is, most of us think we are much better listeners than we really are.
Mhm. So
Do
I
you agree with
agree.
that?
I think the saying, most people listen to respond rather than listen to understand. It always comes to me when I'm trying to listen. I'm like, no, don't listen so that you can respond to
So
somebody.
hard.
Listen to what they have to say. And I catch myself that doing it, Lori.
Oh, same. It's a daily
It,
practice because we want to help, but sometimes that person doesn't need the help. They just need to vent or to be listened to.
yeah.
And so this one is to listen without judgment, to genuinely care, to take, again, to take that
Mhm.
time. And I think I know people will be listening going, I don't have that time. And I want to go back to what I said last week, put a time limit on it.
Mhm.
Say, I can give you 5 minutes, or I have 10 minutes later. Let's meet at this time. I'm going to literally set the timer You have my undivided attention. Let's
I
go.
think that is such a smart suggestion. I have 10 minutes. I really wanna hear what you have to
I
say. I
want
have
to
10
know.
minutes, and
Let's do
then
this.
and later, because that allows me to think, "Oh, what's the most important thing that I need to share, that I want to share?"
Get my thoughts in order because I only have 10 minutes.
Yes.
We go in, the timer is set to go off. There we
Yeah.
go. We did it. This is
That's
good.
huge because you are
Yeah.
giving time, you are listening.
And then the last one, why? This one was hard for me because it took me a while to understand it. Yes, and the why stands for yes. And this idea is built on something rather than to shut it down with a no. A what if instead of a no way response. If you're the type of person who's constantly looks for why you should not do the idea,
Mhm.
this one's going to be hard for you. We all know those kind of people, right? Seeing someone else's perspective other than your
Mhm.
own can be very hard. It goes back to that. So an employee comes to you with, "Hey, I was thinking maybe," you're immediately, "No, not going to work. We're not changing things."
Mhm.
Maybe try. And she's got some really good case studies in her book that elaborate on this, of people that tried the yes and, even though they were like gritting their teeth going, "Yeah, and oh, let's try this." And it continued the
Yeah.
conversation, and then it turned into more of a compromise of what they end up doing. But I like that because, again, this is about you changing.
True. No, I get that. To me, instead of a yes, it'd be like, maybe let me hear what you're thinking instead of a yes, right? So instead of that, oh,
Right,
yes.
but you
Mm.
saying it that way completely makes me not wanna tell you my idea, because you're already prejudging me. "Maybe, I don't know if I'm gonna like it." Say,
But then if I
"Yeah,
say
okay,
yes,
keep talking." That's all.
so
I wanna hear
okay,
you
so
go,
there you go.
"Yeah,
Yeah, keep
okay,
talking.
keep
Okay, I like
talking."
that because when you say
Yeah,
yes
but
and
your face tells too much. We've joked about
we've
that
always said
before.
that.
Yeah, your face is like, "What a dumb idea." Okay.
I'm sorry. What is it that you and Marlon and I, we're the same. Come on.
Yeah, that's what Marlon's like, "Can we just fake the empathy if we really need to get the job done?" It's like, "Marlon, I don't know. I don't think
Just
that's
turn your back.
real.
You and
That's not real, but we need to just get it
Marlon
done."
and I have to turn our back because you can't look at our face.
Oh,
The two of
he's
us. No, can't.
his eyes, just they can go back and forth, and I can tell he's thinking, "What the hell?"
Okay, so I need
Oh,
to
he's
say yes and
go, "Yeah," or yeah, go, "Yeah, yes," and keep talking. Just
tell me more.
tone.
Tell me more.
Tell me more. Tell me more is good. I think that's the whole point. Instead of I don't know,
Mhm.
maybe it's just a, because anything new, and I don't, you're not really like, you can kind
I
of be
can
like
get
this. I
me
think I
sometimes. I know
just
that. Sometimes I
ignored
can.
it on you because I'm used to it. But I think some people are completely
Yeah.
shut down, like just hate
It's
change.
interesting because I would have never associated that with empathy. I would associate that with open mind, being an open
Well,
mind.
that's also opening yourself up to be more
Mm,
empathetic. These are all things we need to do for ourselves to be more open
mhm.
to being empathetic.
Okay.
Ways to train ourselves. That's the thing.
All right. I'm gonna have to keep going over them, Lori. Keep going over
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not, "Oh, we just went over them. I'm done. Now
them.
I have empathy." You know, it's a daily,
Doesn't work that way.
for me, there are days I got no empathy in the pot here.
That's hard for me
Nothing.
to believe, but
It is, no, there are days. I think we're all human, right?
some days you just wanna
I,
say, "Just deal with it."
yeah, for
You know?
sure. And
That's the one
somebody
imp part of me.
yeah, somebody in the class after the class was telling me, they're like, I feel like I'm almost a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Like at work, I got no empathy. I'm just this hardcore workhorse, staunch person. But at home, I'm this super empathetic. I care about all of the things. I'm in my community. I'm two different people.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
feel like in the workspace, the lady who wrote the book, I have to be
Yeah.
this way. I need to be
Yeah.
this way in the workspace.
Yes. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Interesting. It's something we all have to examine, that's for sure. Lori, this has been very enlightening, all the information on empathy, and
Yeah.
just tells me where I need to work. And of course, you
Yeah.
always
Well,
point
so
them out to help
it's
me.
a work in progress. And next week we're going to talk about something
Okay.
else.
New subject next week.
I'm over it.